Hello, and welcome to another episode of eBay Scavengers. This is episode number 125 on ebayscavengers.com.
Cool.
All right.
Cool. So we've been away now for 2 weeks.
Yes.
And we're going to be away for another third week. And now we went from Austin, and now we're in Boston, Massachusetts.
Yep. I'm visiting my family.
Yep. We're currently in Ryan's mom's house. And those of you who follow the show, we interviewed her mom really early on, so she's a big eBayer. And so the funny thing was, when she came and picked us up, we immediately went to an estate sale.
Yeah. 2 estate sales.
Yep, it's great.
So the estate sales have been good.
They've really been amazing because, again, we live in a rural area. Stuff is a little it's different out where we are. So it's really amazing going to these estate sales, like in the fancy parts of Boston.
Fanciest parts of Boston.
Like these mid-century houses where there's, art on the walls being sold for $2,200 and, $1,000 tables.
Yeah.
So what we do is we bundle.
Yes, we've been bundling where we're like, okay, how much for all this? And of course, that's always the best thing to do, especially for some reason, almost everything we picked out at one of the estate sales yesterday, none of the things we picked out had prices on it. So it's kind of tough.
I think that's the thing I love to do is when we go to these sales, I mean, they can't put price tags on everything. And when it's an estate sale, there's just so much stuff. I just love to find something I can put stuff in. Right. Whether it be a pot or a
basket,
that I'm going to buy. And then I just start throwing stuff in there. And it's great. I could have gotten more stuff. But, then the woman who priced it is just, she's focusing on some of the bigger items. And we paid $75.
For a big bundle of cool stuff.
But we must have gotten 30 items.
Yeah, we got lots of good stuff. So... sometimes you feel like, oh, I spent a little more than I would at like a bunch of yard sales, but you're getting like at these houses, there was very high quality, items that you don't find anywhere else because this is someone's collection.
It's also like a lot of why I like estate sales and yard sales and stuff. It's just there's all this really interesting stuff, and I just want it so I can figure out it's what it is. Like I found these patches where I guess this woman had went up to the North Pole.
Right, she was a traveler.
So she had these patches, I guess, from some base up there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's
amazing.
Maybe it's only worth $2, but my feeling is it'll be worth more,
Yeah. The funny thing was we went to another estate sale today after we went out to brunch, and the woman was actually there. Like, the woman who was leaving the house was there.
Right, so we went to the sale right when it's closing. Like it went in there and they were already starting to kind of bag stuff up, and the guy is running it was just like, pick whatever you want. But it was weird because the owner of the home was there, and it was a kind of a weird vibe.
It was awkward.
Yeah. Because
we were buying her clothes. Like I was buying her shoes.
But she was actually, it was super fancy, like an $800,000 house.
Yeah, like $1 million house, basically.
And she was trying to sell Prada shoes and
these Prada boots. She had a pair of Pradas and a pair of Yves Saint Laurent. They were high heel, pointy toed.
Well, it's funny though. It wasn't in the actual sale. She was trying to sell you stuff out of her car. It was like she was trying to do a side deal, and the guy who was running the estate sale for her was kind of mad that she was doing side deals.
Her price was too high. I think she wanted $100 for both pair, and for me, I'm just like, I can't. That's half of my mad money that I have in my bag. Like, and she was real snobby, so I was like,
yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Sometimes with the designer shoes and boots, I mean, they can sell for $300, $400, $500, but it's hard to tell when you're in a pressure, thing like that where you can't tell, well, are these going to be the $200 pair or is this the $800 pair?
Right, exactly. Like, it was tough for me to tell. So that kind of sucks.
So I just started taking stuff out of their trash that they were...
Is that what we got this umbrella stand that is cool. It's like this mid-century umbrella stand or trash can.
Like made out of solid walnut.
It's really solid walnut panels, and Jay puts it in the car, and I was like, that's weird. I don't remember paying for that. Now I know where it came from. It was their trash.
They were just dumping stuff on the trash can.
So estate sales can be funny. There are a lot of personalities at estate sales.
And, we're up here, it's visiting Ryan's family, and we took your younger sister.
Yeah.
Who, she knows what both you and your mom do.
Yeah, and she's sold some stuff on eBay and on Etsy before.
I think like a lot of people we talk to, she gets it, but she's not really all excited. But you and her went to an estate sale by it yourselves, and it was her first estate sale.
It was so funny because it was actually so cute because I just said, look, estate sales are yard sales, but they're in the house. I don't think she understood what I meant. Right. I thought she meant like they're just inside yard sales, not like you're picking stuff out of people's closets.
Everything in the house is for sale. At the end of the day, there's nothing in the house. Right.
So it was so cute because we walked up to the door and she goes, do we just go in? I'm like, yes. We go in and everything's got price tags on it. She was blown away. She bought some really cool stuff. And when we left, this made me laugh. She goes, that's it. It's all over. You brought me to my first estate sale and it's all over. Meaning, I'm basically hooked.
Yeah, right.
Because it was so fun. Yeah. And this was a really good sale. Mid-century modern furniture, actual signed paintings by mid-century artists. There was, like you said, a painting there for $2,200, which I wanted so bad.
Honestly, if we were maybe another time when we have more money to spend, it's the kind of place where
I would have bought that painting.
I would have bought a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I would have bought that painting. It was gorgeous.
But it is always interesting to me. I think that's why I could never get into a retail arbitrage where you're just buying stuff at retail stores, because I just do enjoy the whole experience of you going to someone's home. They spent a lifetime collecting, and there's a little bit of sadness in the fact that it's kind of like, what was the point of all that? They spent a whole lifetime collecting, and then at the end, and then it's within 2 days, it's all dispersed. But it's all getting a new home, it's all good.
It's so funny because my sister was saying that too, where she's like, it is really sad. We're going through. I don't feel that way at all, anymore. I don't have any sentimentality. I do. I feel very appreciative that there are people who have got good taste, collected it, and now it's dispersing.
Yeah, I guess I'm not sad, but there is a sense of, it teaches me, it really does not matter what I collect in my life. I should put things around me that make me feel good or that I enjoy, that are practical. But this idea of I need to have a collection, and because at the end of the day, I don't know, unless you have kids that really love your collection, which doesn't seem to be true.
Yeah.
It just kind of gets put back out into the world.
Right. Well, as we've said before, in our house and in our life, we're very minimal about the things we have, just because that's how we like it.
However, I guess I should appreciate people that do collect, because
we make a living.
Many of them are our customers, because we're the ones helping them find all those little weird, crazy patches and stuff like that, and they're finding value in completing collections.
Exactly. Yep.
It's very philosophical, right?
It is. We could. We have done a whole podcast about it. Do we create value, or are we just putting crap back into the cycle?
Yeah, it's just it's what we always say. It's like this for us. This isn't just about making $1, because there's many ways to make a living.
Right.
So these are the things that we find are interesting to us beyond getting paid, which we got to get paid, right? Yeah,
because we got to put food on the table.
That's right. For our kitties.
So something that we were finding in estate sales in Austin was shoes. It seemed like every estate sale and every thrift store I went to had a pair of Ferragamo shoes for $2.
Yeah, it was strange. We talked about this. I posted it on the blog, but yeah, for some reason every sale we were going to had an older woman whose collection of shoes were Ferragamos, so we probably got, I
think I got 6 to 8 pairs of Ferragamos.
Yeah, and really the cool kind that people love to buy, the ones that have the bows on them.
The bow. Like, if people
the
know...
logo bow.
Yeah, they're called... There's, 3 different names for them, but one of the names is Vera, V-A-R-A. Just look it up on eBay, you'll see. I mean, they go, if they're in good shape, they'll go for a lot of money. Or if they're a particular color.
$100.
Oh, easy $100.
Easy $100.
It's easy $100. So to buy them for $2, you're gold.
And then, we took advantage of Craigslist in an urban area since our Craigslist stinks out in the country. And we found a woman. She was just cleaning stuff out. I guess instead of just driving the stuff to a Goodwill, she was just putting a call out and just said, come and get it. And she was just like in an apartment.
Yeah.
And she was a little nutty, but she was basically giving away her childhood. So it was like, so it was like all of her Girl Scout patches and dolls.
Baby dolls, and she had a few like backpacks from her travels in Europe.
And these
all
cool
this
like
stuff.
Old coloring books that were not very used.
Yeah, this old like 80s, 70s, 80s coloring book, which I just thought was cool because the images were just hilarious. They looked like they were straight out of Mad Men. The funny thing about her, the reason we called her Nutty was, number one, she would not stop talking and would not leave us alone. We couldn't go through her stuff without her standing there.
Well, she also wanted to tell the story of everything she was giving us, which,
That's fine, but...
I mean, obviously meant something to her, so...
But the problem with that was, as she got into the stories, she wanted her stuff back.
Well, there were a couple of things she gave us, and then as she was telling the story, she was like, yeah, I actually want that back.
And she took something out of my hands, which I was like... Let's go. That's fine, but and she said, "Oh, if I want something back, I'll call you." No, you won't.
Yeah, but to me, it's always interesting to hear the different ways you can scavenge. I just can't understand people who say they can't find anything, because it's just like there's so many avenues of places where the overabundance in this country is being, traded. Given away, sold for, pennies on the dollar. It's all there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is, of course, what is happening in our week. And we've been on vacation. This is our second week of vacation. This week, Sunday to Saturday, we've sold 26 items. Mm-hmm. And we've made $2,200.
Whoa.
So that's actually more than we've made in a week for a while. And so that's... an average of $84 an item. I mean, obviously...
That's high, yeah. That's skewed there.
But 25% of those 26 items, so about 7 items actually, sold for over $100. So this strategy we've been having of trying to find and list higher dollar items, this week really paid off. Our highest dollar was... $400 piece of furniture.
I'm thrilled. We had sold a couple pieces, as we talked before, a few months ago. And then we got on a listing spree of listing the furniture we had accrued. And one piece sold. And we talked about them, about when they're going to pick it up.
And it was like this mid-century LP holder,
Yeah, it was this LP cabinet.
By Elaine, if anyone's heard of that furniture company.
And we had a lot of people watching it, so I was just waiting for someone to...
And it's a local pickup, so the person knows we're out of town. She paid for it fully, and we're going to arrange a time for her to come and pick it up. And so we're totally psyched,
Yeah, we're thrilled.
But not only that, in this week we sold several pieces of art for multiple hundreds of dollars. We sold a piece of jewelry...
For hundreds of dollars.
You sold a mixer that...
Yes, I sold it's one of those old kitchen mixers.
It's like a Hamilton Beach.
Yeah, it's a Hamilton Beach, like Model K mixer with the original stainless steel bowls. If you guys sell vintage stuff, you've seen them before. This one was pristine, shiny chrome. And
we actually paid $20 for it, which is... more than we normally pay for items, but we knew we could make 10 times our money.
And I held out. I put it up for $200, and I had to make an offer on it, but some people gave me low offers, like $90, which at first you're like, that's a cool offer, but I'm like, I'm going to wait, because this thing, number one, it weighs a ton, and it's like 3 or 4 different pieces you have to pack, so I was like...
So it's an example of just because make offers on an item... We still sell things for full price.
Some people, and that's a good example of most of those high dollar items that we sold, people just bought them outright. So that's thrilling when that happens.
And that's just because I think there are buyers out there when if you're trying to sell at one of a kind of vintage items, if you find a full set or something in really good shape, there are people that know how special that is, how rare it is to find something in that quality, and that they don't want to fool around with like over $10 of of a make offer. So
and possibly being declined and you not wanting to sell it to them or something.
So the other thing is we sold a lot of baby clothes.
2 lots.
2 lots. And this was an experiment that Ryanne had tried because, as you know, every time you go to yard sales, there's always a pile of baby clothes, or at a thrift store, and they're almost just giving it away. And so Ryanne did an experiment where she bundled up into a lot designer baby clothes.
Right.
Carter, Oshkosh Bagosh.
Oshkosh Bagosh. So
the Gap.
One of the thrift stores that we go to, actually, we buy in bulk. So that's the ideal place to do something like baby clothes. Bag sales, stuff like that. Because baby clothes are little. So you can stuff a ton of baby clothes. So I had seen lots of baby clothes sell for hundreds of dollars. What I found out later was, a lot of those clothes are huge lots. 300, 400 pieces of baby clothes. And they might sell for $200, but...
And so ours were like lots of 30 or something?
Yeah, lots of 30 or 40 pieces.
And so we learned pretty quickly that we weren't doing it right, and so we brought the prices down. We probably sold them for $30 each.
Yeah, I think it was like $30 or $40 each.
Not worth it.
So it wasn't worth it, but I did sell. I think I had a total of 4 lots, and I sold 2 over the last year, and then these 2 sold, in the last week.
So, I mean, the thing about experiments is, it teaches you, but we never lose its money.
No, I didn't lose. I made money. I definitely made money. I didn't make a lot of money, and it was a pain in the ass.
And plus,
it was boring.
We learned, it's boring.
I don't care about baby clothes. If I have a baby, I will definitely buy in bulk and buy cool, funky clothes, but I'm not going to buy them for other people.
So the other thing is, we're on vacation. We're still have our store open and people can buy. So these are the issues that come up. And they aren't bad, but it's something that you have to, anyone that tries this has to be aware of. So we've sold 65 items in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Since the day we've been gone.
Yeah.
So, by the time we get home, we'll probably hit 100 items.
Yeah,
maybe.
We'll probably hit very close to 100.
And that means that, Ryanne, there's going to be 2 or 3 days of packing. Yeah.
I enjoy packing, so.
But out of those 65 items, we've been taking a lot of offers because we're trying to get things sold. There are people that have not paid yet.
Right. 7 items have not been paid for, and a couple of those are pretty high dollar items.
And these are people too, where we tell them we won't be back at a certain day. They don't contact us either way, so they don't tell us it's okay or it's not okay. We just don't hear from them. So what we have to do is we just have to assume that they will pay as the date gets closer to when we'll actually ship.
And what I'll do too is probably the day before we go home, I will say, hey, we're coming home tomorrow. I'll be shipping on Monday. If you pay, I'll be able to ship it to you, as soon as we get home. And that does help. So hopefully that will help for those 7 items.
And in our experience, everyone does eventually pay.
Yeah.
I think that maybe 1 or 2 people might not pay. That does happen, but most of the time people do pay. But it is a little bit of an issue when we're on vacation because, there might be $800 that people owe us. And, we can't really play hardball because we aren't going to ship for another week. So why should we start hassling people now? And they may be just like, well, if it's not going to get shipped for a week, I'm not going to pay till, that time has come.
Right. So we're kind of sitting here like, okay, are they waiting or are they a deadbeat?
And something also happens. People buy. We send them multiple emails to every place we can contact them through their PayPal email, their eBay ID, and there's another one.
And then if their email from PayPal is different than their eBay email, I'll send it to the eBay email.
And this always happens.
I'm obsessive.
There's at least one person that opens a case saying their item hasn't arrived, and that happened this past week.
Right.
Where someone was like, I haven't gotten my thing, and we have to write back in that eBay case, and we say, we sent you a message, And in this case, the buyer was like, "Oh, I didn't see that. That's cool. I'll wait."
Yeah, it is funny how that happens. It's like I send them so many messages, but I think either people don't read their email or they just think it's a confirmation of their purchase. So it's like 11 days go by and she's like, I didn't get this yet.
So we've sold 65 items, but we've actually sold 5 more than that. And so we've had 5 people in 2 weeks say they wanted their money back.
They needed it faster.
Yeah, because they realized that we were out of town. And the weird thing is, this is what people tell us, and it's kind of screwy on eBay's part. eBay allows you to go on vacation and sell. eBay allows you to put a banner up. I mean, it's all part of their system. But when someone goes to buy, eBay still shows that you're going to ship.
Right.
Like in the next 2 days, like always. For some reason, their vacation settings don't change the shipping time. So when people are buying, they say, oh, it's going to ship whatever
tomorrow
in 2 days. And that's why they get
mad,
confused. And I really think that eBay needs to look at that. Like, if you put your store on vacation and you enter in, I'm not going to come home for 2 weeks, that should change the shipping time.
That's a really good point, because it wasn't so much that people were mad that we were away. It was like, well, I needed this on June 10th. And you're like,
and then eBay told me that it would be here.
Right.
So
it's a contradiction on the listing.
So it just means that there's just extra communication. But really, come on. It's been easy.
Oh, I mean, it's really been smooth. I mean, it has not been. Everyone's been so nice and understanding. Even the people who said, hey, I needed this in 3 days, you know.
So, we have been scavenging, and we really haven't spent a lot of money. I mean,
no, not too much.
And we've been getting some really awesome things, but, then you got to commit, and it's all about trying to organize and ship stuff home. And we've mentioned that we've been big fans now of a FedEx Home or a FedEx Ground.
Right. So, for some reason, on FedEx, if you open a FedEx account...
And it's free.
You just make an account with your information, and you ship, heavy items on Ground. It's half the price of parcel posts. I just couldn't believe it.
But it also seems important that it's through your own account, and then you print the label it yourself. If you just take a box to the FedEx store and they print it out, for some reason it's twice as much.
It's just as much as USPS. So,
but at these places, they took over Kinko's, which I just learned. They actually have a printer and a computer right next to their thing, so you can actually go there and print a label out right there and then get that discount.
Yeah, because we were staying in like an Airbnb situation, I wasn't able to print out a label the second time we went to FedEx. And it was so great. I was like all freaked out, and I'm like, God, this is twice the price I thought it would be. And the lady's like, oh, there's a computer right over there, and if you're just printing postage, we don't charge you for the time on the computer. You can just print it. It was great.
It's just so weird to me. If she printed it out, we would have paid twice as much. If we spend 2 minutes and print it out ourselves on their own computer, it's half as much.
I'm like, why wouldn't everyone do that? I don't understand.
So we're big fans. We're going to ship 2 or 3 more boxes home tomorrow. Sometimes I think it's a little bit crazy, but literally we're getting items that one item will pay for the whole shipping. So it's really worth it for us.
I know. It did. Like, I am about to walk into the guest bedroom and look at all the stuff I have to pack. A lot of them are books. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But we got some really cool stuff. And I don't mind packing, so it's fine.
Yeah, I gotta admit that, we all have our blind spots. And books right now are my blind spot.
They're so cool, though.
We do sell a book every now and again on eBay. And it sells well. We'll sell like a book for $30. One I got for under $1, and it's cool. But really, I just find, I don't know enough about books to know which ones sell for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Right.
But I still, it's a blind spot. I cannot pass up these really beautiful old book with illustrations. I mean, books that look like, they didn't have a lot of printing, it's maybe 10,000 got printed. I don't know. They feel just so rare and cool, but they're just, I don't know.
Yeah, they're tough.
But I still buy them, and, I got a bunch I need to list at home, and this is what happens. I buy a bunch of stuff that I'm obsessed about. I finally get around to taking pictures of everything. Ryan finally puts them all up. And then really that's the experiment.
Right.
And then I realize, no
more books.
No one's buying these.
Or
it's a waste of time.
Or the opposite, where we're like, those sold really fast for a lot of money. We will always get those.
Right.
But...
Or the ones that are selling are like the architecture books.
Right.
Those are ones to get,
Yeah.
So, I hear it when people comment on the podcast about being overwhelmed by piles, and I hear you, I get it too, but really it's about being honest about what those blind spots are. And, if there is something that I'm buying that first of all, I need to actually put it up online and give it a chance. And then I have to be honest, do they sell or not? And then base our opinion on that,
Right.
So this is something that I saw on one of the, some eBay site, some other blog. eBay now lets you sell a service, which I think is crazy. I always thought eBay was against this, but this seems new. And I'm going to link to the eBay page onto this blog post at eBay Scavengers. And so you can sell like I make websites. Hire me and I'll make your
so you're selling services. You're not selling an item. You're like, okay.
So you're like, I can fix a watch, or I can sharpen a knife,
cool.
Or so you can sell a talent.
Oh, that's neat. It says this includes custom crafts and clothing, repair, restoration, personalized items, web design, and more. Because I think for a long time they were against that, because people would sell design services and it would get flagged.
Right, because I guess in the past eBay didn't want it to be something that was kind of intangible. They didn't want someone to sell something and then it would be hard for eBay to help determine if that intangible design object actually happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe eBay's now like they're passing up an opportunity. So
well, that's cool.
Honestly, I'm looking at the eBay's official page explaining this, and they don't really give you a lot of info. So you can figure it out from there.
Huh? That's interesting.
So in the past week, we've had something happen that has not happened to us in a really long time, and that is we've had 2 days in the past week where we have not sold anything.
Right.
So even though at the end of the week we've actually had the highest grossing week we've had in several months, we've had 2 days where we haven't sold anything. Mm-hmm. Now, number one is I think because we're on vacation, just our sales are always a bit lower because I'm sure people pass us up when they see we don't ship right away. But it's also probably because it's summertime and I hear a lot of people complaining, it's the summertime, so things are slower.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing was, like you said, with our numbers, it definitely was like actually a better week than we've had in a long time.
Because of the high dollar items.
Right.
But we have sold fewer items this week than we normally do.
Right.
As we said last year, and we'll say it this year, and we'll keep saying it, during the summer, when it's slow, that's the best time to list in high gear. Because that's what we do.
Yep.
Because, I mean, the summer is not very long. June's halfway through. July, August. Starting September, that's when people start buying for the holiday.
Yeah.
September, October, November, December. Those 4 months are always our best months.
Yep.
And so we don't want to start to a list in October for the holiday. We want to start to list in June.
Yeah.
July.
You got to start early.
So when we get home, it's time to list.
Yep. First I got to ship, and then we got to list.
We have talked before about one cool thing that we enjoy to sell a vintage, one-of-a-kind stuff is when we sell to designers or sell to theater people or people in a movie prop, that kind of stuff. That's always kind of neat because it's neat. I found a blog post, which I'll link to, where this guy got obsessed by this mailbox that he remembers as a child. And I guess he was like a designer, industrial designer kind of guy. and he actually found he couldn't find it anywhere, and he found it on eBay, and he found it on eBay, and then figured out who eventually made it. And then I guess he tried to see if that was patented, and then I guess it wasn't patented. So he just designed it based on that one that he'd bought on eBay, and he's going to supposedly put it into, like, it's make it again so people can buy it, you know?
See, I love that, because really, where else would you be able to find something like that other than eBay, you know? I mean, maybe Etsy, but it's just so cool that you can, like...
I mean, if we were designers,
yes.
or if I was in a lifetime and owned some company that manufactured stuff,
yeah.
I would so do that. You just go and you just find the vintage stuff and you just like totally steal that style, you know? And
yeah, well, it's good. He tried to find out if it was patented and it wasn't like something that was made now.
I mean, when you go to a West Elm is if you're into fancy stuff, I mean, it's definitely a store that sells really nice furniture and housewares. They actually have a reputation of being basically an antique store that's new, because they must have done that. They've gone and they've basically copied a lot of looks from those times. You know?
Yeah, I think there are a few stores like that. West Elm,
Room
and Board, Restoration Hardware. We went into a Restoration Hardware in Portland, Oregon, at some mall somewhere, and I could not believe how much furniture, because I used to think of them as just like actually buying hardware there. They had so much furniture, and it looked antique. I mean, it looked like it was from the 1800s, and we're like, wow, how do you mass produce these? They're like, they make them in China. So depressing. So basically, that is what those places do.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, because a lot of places seems like they have the right look, but they've skimped on the quality of the actual furniture, where I guess if you really pay a lot of cash, it might be paid in, I mean, it might be made in hardwood or nice a fabric, but very often it looks cool, but then, you know, it's
a
made
veneer,
made out of a cheaper wood, or, you know. Okay, so we're going to answer a couple questions. You know, every week we put up a post where people can ask and answer its questions. So that's a cool place. But people are still sending in its questions that we'll answer right now. One person just says, "I use shoes?"
I think maybe they're saying that that's a topic suggestion. So I think it's also posed as a question. So,
well, the only reason why I bring it up is because I love to sell shoes on eBay, and I think there's a lot of people maybe who come into this space, or they're new. They just can't believe that people buy shoes on eBay. But man, I'm telling you, if you're just starting out on eBay, shoes are really the easiest things to get started with, because they're extremely practical.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot of people, me included, I buy my shoes on eBay because I don't want to spend $90 for a pair of nice shoes. I want to pay $30 for that same pair of nice shoes, and I don't mind if it's been worn for a couple of months. So shoes are great.
Yeah, so we sell a crap load of shoes, and we also buy our own shoes on eBay as well, because you can find some great shoes for cheap.
Both right now, me and Ryan both only have shoes that we bought on eBay or found at thrift stores.
I'm wearing a pair right now.
Next question.
The next question says, "Hi, can you please explain why you choose to mail some of your products through the global shipping program and why you choose to mail some directly to different countries?" That was someone named Bridget. Now, I do not choose which ones go where. It's the global shipping program that determines what items in what category can be sent to what country. I do none of that. I just flip the switch that says, send this to global shipping if it qualifies, and if not, send it priority mail. So that's it. It's all done for you.
Well, I think the other reason is because there are places where the global shipping program won't go to.
Right.
So you just don't have a choice.
Yeah, you don't have a choice. So, but what I'm saying is, I don't make that decision. The decision's made for you. So if someone lives in Brazil, some other country where it's not global shipping, it'll just revert back to your international shipping defaults.
But since they started the program, I notice every month or every couple months they're always adding new countries.
Yes.
So they cover a lot of places they hadn't a year ago. And
right.
I guess because they're making partnerships with every country's, and actually, again, I know a lot of people, every time we post something about global shipping, there are people that just like hate it so much they leave these really angry comments. Here's another reason why we love it. We sold a deck of cards to someone in England.
Yes.
They were like brand new kind of collectors. We shipped it well to Kentucky.
Right.
And then from Kentucky, eBay takes it over and sends it to England. We get a message from the buyer who says that the packaging was poor and that the cards were damaged.
Right.
And all we did was say, talk to eBay. It's global shipping.
Yeah, because a lot of times buyers, they don't know the term global shipping. So if they call eBay and say, I got something and it was damaged, you really need to direct them to say, and I explained it to her. I said, I shipped it to Kentucky. They might have repackaged my packaging because I packaged it well so that it doesn't get crushed. That's what she did. I think she called eBay and said this was sent global shipping and it was damaged.
So that's not to say we don't take its responsibility. What happened was she then gave us positive feedback because I assume she called eBay, told them what's up. They handled it, gave her a refund or it's whatever she was trying to find. And then she gave us positive feedback and said item was damaged in shipping, but not buyer's fault.
Right.
Everyone's happy.
So that was good. We just saw that this morning. So that was nice to hear. Okay, so the last question is from Bill. And Bill suggests that we do an unhaul video as opposed to the usual haul video.
And that's where people show the things that they buy at
whatever, estate sales. What did you not buy that others may have? What items that could have turned a profit did you look at but ultimately not purchase, and why?
Well, so we wanted to bring this up because obviously that video would be impossible because
we wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah. How could we make a video of things we don't buy? And you know what? I have been thinking, like, how could we actually record video at thrift sales or estate sales or flea markets, but because
without being obvious,
I just feel like it would put people, in a weird state of mind if they see you walking around, it's with a camera, or if we're like look like we're making a video. I guess like any kind of a video project we do, it's all about the confidence that we have.
Right.
I do think that's an interesting idea. I think that you can learn just as much by seeing what people don't buy and why, versus all the just gazillion of just videos that people put on a YouTube where they just show, look, I bought this shirt, I bought this.
Well, what we could do too is, what might be fun is, if when we go to the flea market or estate sale, just take notes of, oh, I saw this thing, I thought about it, but this is why I turned it down, and that could be a podcast.
Yeah, I think the other reason why I don't like those haul videos that people put up is because they leave out the most important part. They can show you all the stuff they buy all day long, and then they just guesstimate, oh, this is going to be worth $30, this is worth $50. But you don't really know that that's how much they're going to sell that item for.
Right.
You also don't know how long it takes them to sell that item. So that's why I find those videos are very unhelpful to me. And that's why we don't really make those videos and post them to the podcast. What we try and do is to actually show you what we do sell.
Right.
And then once we know how much it's sold for, then we'll tell you how much we bought it for.
Right.
Because that's the real info.
For us too, the problem with those haul videos, and there are a lot of those videos on YouTube, it's crazy. To me, they're a lot of hype because they don't talk about how much work it takes to be putting all that stuff online every week and then dealing with customers and then shipping it out. That's why we made this podcast, because we were like, there's so much more to the business. Like you always say, it's the unglamorous part of doing an eBay store. The glamorous part is shopping and making the money. Everything in between is like, cleaning toilets, basically. Although it's not that bad. I have fun doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our vacation, kind of, and so we're only going to do this one podcast for this week. We try to do kind of a bit of an extra long one, and then once we get back I guess we'll get back next week. We'll get back into a schedule. I have some interviews that I want to start doing with a couple of sellers that people have have told us to talk to.
Yeah, so we'll give you more content. Don't worry.
And then it's this week we are going to travel to New York. We're going to be in it's Manhattan for 4 nights, and we're really excited because a couple things happens. We love to scavenge on the street. New York's a great place to find stuff.
Oh man, I can't wait to go through the trash. That's for sure. And we're taking the Amtrak home, so.
Yep. And stoop sales, and then there's our favorite auction that we're going to go to again.
Oh my God, I really hope they're still doing auctions because they were hilarious. I will have to take a picture with them.
That's where I got the zombie girl
painting
that we sold for over $100.
And we sold that makeup mirror that they couldn't give away, and I sold it for $40.
And we're a little bit slower this week to be answering things on the blog, but we do it as quick as we can. And I see other people are like answering each other's questions, and that's really the best is when people are helping each other.
Yep.
And that's it. So
okay then. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.